In a world where our worth often feels measured in double taps and filtered perfection, more and more people are silently, and sometimes dramatically, walking away from social media, for good. What once promised connection, community, and inspiration has morphed into a landscape that many now find toxic, overwhelming, and deeply draining to their mental health. There's a rising tide of awareness that the glow of the screen can dim the light of the soul. And that realization is sparking a digital rebellion that's hard to ignore. We live in an era that glorifies the highlight reel. A culture where vulnerability is curated, and validation is measured in views. But behind every perfect post is a human being, often crumbling under the pressure to perform. People are quitting social media not because they don't care, but because they care too much. About their peace. About their sanity. About the simple moments that go unnoticed when we're busy chasing algorithmic approval. It starts subtly. A creeping anxiety when a post doesn't do well. The constant comparison to someone else's curated lifestyle. The fear of missing out on trends or news. The compulsion to check notifications, even during sacred moments. Over time, these little hits chip away at our self-worth, and what once felt like a fun escape becomes a constant stressor. One of the most common reasons people are choosing to quit social media is because of the way it distorts reality. Platforms are flooded with influencers who seem to have it all: beauty, success, love, luxury. But much of what's seen is edited, sponsored, and filtered through a lens of perfectionism. This sets unrealistic expectations, especially for young people who are still forming their identities. The more we scroll, the more inadequate we can feel. It's no wonder that studies continue to show a correlation between time spent on social media and higher rates of depression, anxiety, and loneliness. Many people describe feeling addicted. They wake up and check their phone before their feet even touch the floor. They scroll while eating, walking, even during conversations. It becomes second nature, and soon, real-life moments feel dull without the buzz of likes and digital affirmation. But here's the truth: what feels like connection is often just distraction. And yet, no one wants to admit they're struggling. We're conditioned to smile, to post happy moments, to keep up the illusion. But more and more people are recognizing that social media can be emotionally exhausting. It's a place where bullying hides behind anonymity, where misinformation spreads faster than facts, and where everyone's opinion can feel like a personal attack. Some are quitting because they need boundaries. They want to reclaim their mornings and their minds. They're tired of waking up to negativity, drama, or the endless chase of comparison. They long for solitude without interruption, peace without pings. Others are stepping away because they've realized their creativity has been hijacked. They no longer create for joy, but for engagement. Their work, their art, even their voice, is shaped by trends instead of truth. Then there's the fear of being forgotten. That if you stop posting, you'll disappear. But here's the powerful shift happening: people are realizing that their value doesn't decrease when their visibility does. In fact, stepping away often leads to greater clarity, inspiration, and connection, with themselves, and with the world around them. There's also a growing spiritual and energetic awareness. Social media can drain your energy without you even realizing it. Every scroll is a tiny energetic exchange. And when you're absorbing thousands of images, opinions, and energies in a day, it's no surprise you feel exhausted. People are learning to protect their peace, to be intentional with what they consume, and to recognize that not everything needs their attention. Mental health professionals have also begun advocating for digital detoxes. The data is clear: reducing social media usage improves mood, sleep, productivity, and self-esteem. People report feeling more present, more connected to their real lives, and more capable of handling stress. They start noticing the birds in the morning, the taste of their coffee, the texture of their emotions. They begin to feel human again. Parents are making different choices too. They're choosing to raise kids who play outside, who make eye contact, who aren't glued to screens. They're setting an example that presence is more powerful than posts. Relationships are healing when screens are put down. Friendships deepen when there's time to truly listen. Lovers reconnect when their moments aren't mediated through selfies. For some, the decision to leave social media is about reclaiming time. Time is the most valuable resource we have. And yet, many spend hours each day on platforms that often leave them feeling worse than before. What could be done with that time? Learn a skill. Write a book. Start a business. Meditate. Rest. Live. The possibilities are endless when you're not tethered to a timeline. And it's not just everyday people making the shift. Celebrities, artists, and public figures are also stepping back. They're speaking out about burnout, about the pressure to be always on, and the need to disconnect in order to reconnect with themselves. Their vulnerability is opening up conversations about digital well-being and the importance of mental health in the digital age. We're entering a new era. A conscious one. Where silence is golden and privacy is sacred. Where being unbothered is a flex, and peace is the new luxury. More and more people are waking up to the truth: we weren't meant to consume this much information, nor were we built to be so accessible. Some are finding solace in simpler platforms. Others are setting strict boundaries, only using social media for business or creative expression. Many are deleting apps entirely and rediscovering who they are without the noise. They're journaling instead of tweeting. Talking instead of texting. Being instead of performing. And let's not forget the rise of mental health awareness. As therapy becomes less stigmatized, people are learning to name their feelings. To recognize what's hurting them and to seek healing. Social media, for all its benefits, is increasingly recognized as a trigger for many. And healing requires distance. Space to breathe. To not be on all the time. People are prioritizing self-care in deeper ways. They're choosing environments that nourish them. They're building morning routines without screens. They're meditating, reading, walking, creating. They're investing in themselves instead of likes. And that investment is paying off in confidence, joy, and true connection. For content creators, the shift is nuanced. Many are redefining what success looks like. It's no longer about virality, but about impact. They're learning to create from the heart, not for the algorithm. They're reclaiming their creative power, even if it means slower growth. Authenticity is becoming the new metric. For businesses, the conversation is changing too. Brands are learning that real impact doesn't always come from flashy ads, but from meaningful connection. Transparency, intention, and values matter more than ever. Audiences are tired of being sold to, they want to feel something real. And that begins with authenticity, which often means less social media, and more soul. It's okay to need a break. To log off. To unsubscribe from the noise. To value your mind over metrics. More people are discovering that the world doesn't end when they disappear from social media. In fact, it often begins. So what does life after social media look like? It looks like freedom. Like waking up without needing to prove anything. Like having coffee and hearing your own thoughts. Like reading a book without checking your phone every 5 minutes. Like building relationships that aren't validated by comments. Like finally knowing who you are, offline. It's slower, but it's deeper. It's quieter, but it's richer. It's more intentional. People are finding that they don't miss the drama, the noise, the need to explain themselves. They're finding peace in the pause. Clarity in the quiet. We are so used to being plugged in, we forget how healing it is to be still. To hear your own breath. To not perform. To just be. This is what people are choosing. Not out of fear, but out of love, for themselves. This movement isn't about shaming those who use social media. It's about empowering those who feel drained by it to know they have a choice. That they can step back. That their value is not tied to visibility. That their life is enough, even when it's not being seen. The message is spreading, it's okay to disappear for a while. To protect your peace. To choose your mental health over popularity. More than okay, it's powerful. And as more people awaken to this truth, we'll see a culture shift. A return to presence. To depth. To realness. Social media won't go away, but how we use it is already changing. Conscious consumption is on the rise. Intentional living is the future. We're moving from performance to presence. From noise to stillness. From followers to fulfillment. You don't have to delete every account today. But you can pause. You can log off for the weekend. You can take back your mornings. You can choose to be present. And in doing so, you might just find what you've been searching for all along, yourself. So here's to the brave ones quitting social media to heal. To rest. To rediscover joy. Your mind matters. Your peace is priceless. And your life is worth living fully, beyond the screen.